Hey,
Hello there, Dracula. Hello there, Sonic. Good morning.
I gotta say, that song still keeps us banned in Russia, but I'm never gonna take it off.
Yeah, they got it banned in Russia because they don't want us winning, dude. The
Mm.
Vitalik cabal, they don't want us winning. But guess what? That's our war cry, dude. That's
Yeah.
how we win, dude.
Yeah, I'm willing to leave money on the table to have that song play and us be blocked in Russia. It's just worth it.
It's that important for morale.
Yeah.
Speaking of morale, I think our morale would be greatly improved if we were to do a show from inside this bizarre globe here. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, you're giving everyone a little preview of Singapore.
Oh yeah. This is I don't know where the Sonic event is going to be, but I'll be here. I'll be in this globe, dude. I think it's an Apple store, to be honest with you.
Oh man, I hope it's an Apple store.
Yeah, I mean, see, look at the big Apple sign. Anyway, yeah, man, things they could be better, but I think outlook is positive. You know what I mean? Like shaking the magic 8 ball. I'm a magic 8 ball, and you guys get to shake me every Tuesday and Friday. And today, you're getting outlook looks good.
Looks good. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the sentiment on the timeline is, starting to slowly, the pendulum is slowly moving the other way. People seem a little more optimistic. This is before, even we got the news yesterday about some flying tulip update kind of stuff. Um, you know, it's been a cold, desolate time frame here, so it's starting to feel good. I mean, Ethereum is still pretty much ripping, but we still aren't in alt season yet, right?
Like what even am I looking at here, dude?
I
This
mean, it's
doesn't.
like I said, if you look at it like this, I mean, it's like Ethereum looks like a nice meme token chart or something.
Yeah,
Um,
this looks manipulated to all hell, dude.
I think it's only gone up because like Vitalik's not had access to his Chromebook.
Yeah,
So
he hasn't been posting much lately. Is that why it's going up, or is it because he
yeah,
can't? He
he
doesn't have.
can't get to the sell button.
Yeah,
Um, no, I mean, we were so close. Let's see, it was 40 47.75. I think all-time high on Ethereum's like 48.80. So, we were like shy like 100 something dollars of a new Ethereum all-time high. So no big shock to me that it almost got there, got a little smackdown. I still think that, we might have a move back, but I think after that we're taken back off. I
yeah.
think
I think
I
we're
think
still on
that
the march, dude. We're still on the march to Shangri-La. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, we're still marching. I was on a stream last night and we were talking just like, general crypto stuff, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's just like, in my opinion, that I don't think 120 something K is a suitable all time high for this cycle. I just don't believe it. So I think we got a ways to go. Like I said, we're probably out of the days of 50, 60, 70% retraces on Bitcoin in the bear market. We're probably done with that. But I still can't help but feel that, I don't know. It's got to be at least upper 100s, I think. I think we got a ways to go. And we still have a lot of macro stuff about to happen that hasn't happened yet. So
You think we got like at least another 50K to add on to Bitcoins?
that's about what I think, honestly. Um, you know, could be wrong. Now that's also, the argument right now is doomers on the timeline are saying every halving cycle is 18 months and it's been, whatever, however many months, it's almost 18 months or whatever. But I just don't think this cycle is going to be the same. I think we're in for a longer cycle, but less like volatility overall. So Vault says I'm thinking 170 to 180. Yeah, that's kind of what I got in mind. I think, people saying 250K and stuff, I think that's a little outlandish, but I'm thinking like upper 100s.
That seems right to me. Going off my gut feeling, dude, it does seem like with the ETFs and the increasing, I don't know if it's financialization is the right word, more so like integration with the overall economy and legal systems. Just oh my god, just look at the screen. That guy, the guy on footage was so crazy looking. No, it's just more stability in the price. So we're probably going to see it perform more like typical markets. So like less crazy volatility. That's what I would assume, especially as more liquidity sloshes into the markets from the institutional side.
Yeah, I mean, and there was something interesting. I think it was yesterday. It was just kind of like a blurb, but Solana ETF kind of got like kicked down the road a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested to see if, I'm interested to see if we do go into fall, finally get some kind of rate cut. And then you see a couple other coins get ETFs. Then we go into next year. Maybe they get a new Fed yes man that's going to cut rates however much they want. So, I mean, yeah, I still think we got some gas in the tank. I think we still got some stuff. We still have two big wars essentially happening right now. Imagine this, right? They start cutting rates in the fall. You get a couple more ETFs in the mix. They wrap up some of this world macro stuff, and then they put some guy in for the Fed that's like, I'm going to like slash like entire percent like a month at a time, I don't know, just daydreaming here, but yeah, I just think that it doesn't, kind of like what you were saying, how like you just kind of have like a feeling. I'm like, it just doesn't feel like we're about to be done.
Yeah. Now, obviously, feelings are dangerous. Right?
Feelings are not numbers or data, but
but things do seem to be. There's no stopping this train. I think that's what Lynn Alden says, right? Like, there's no stopping this train at this point. So I think we're just going to continue along this path for the foreseeable future, unless something really changes. But it doesn't seem like anything is really going to stop the demand for Bitcoin and ETH right now. Again, I guess the question is like, does this ever roll over to alts? Which we'll see.
Yeah.
Legislation seems to be kind of opening up the doors for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid now, but like maybe we all actually are really early and were early this whole time.
Could be. I mean, there's people that think that too. That like, hey, we're all just still so early, and everybody's gonna make it. You could make it getting, kicking and screaming, getting dragged into making it. That's the view some people have. So
that's what's happening on Sonic. On Sonic, everyone's be dragged kicking and screaming into making it, dude.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, I'm still mad about something, but this helps.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. So we got the ETH chart. Okay, we got some other news here. And speaking of demand, Citigroup is looking to add payment services for stablecoins. Is this a big deal? Citigroup.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty big deal. Do you have the link on that? I don't have that pulled up. My link guy is not here today. I'm just all out of sorts,
Link plug, dude.
I think the link plug.
Group post here. CBDC was killed by TradFi for stablecoins, so they could set up shop in a new arena. Wait.
Yeah, I mean,
is this guy saying that like the CBDCs would make it so that private companies wouldn't profit off of stablecoins? Is that the idea? I guess. Anyway.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the idea because
I've never heard that take before.
I could see that being a take, though. I think that if you go to CBDC route, then you got all the usual guys in the mix, already got their hands in, already got, access to supply, all that stuff, compared to if stables remain kind of like Wild West, big firms, big institutions can kind of, stake their claim early, become big holders, whatever. So I think that's a plausible conspiracy theory.
Right on. So like, it seems like this isn't like confirmed yet or anything, because this article just came out like a couple hours ago. 3 hours ago, and this isn't saying that they're doing it, but they're exploring becoming custodians for stablecoin and stablecoin assets alongside Fiserv and Bank of America. So yeah, look, this is what I'm talking about, dude. There's nothing stopping this train, dude. There's going to be a lot of like this zippering up of like the traditional financial industry and our industry, and how far that extends into like the weird shit we'll see. Like, are altcoins going to be,
No, it could get interesting. Imagine that if your coins were allowed to, be traded on like a debit card or something. I mean, that would be pretty nice.
Corvallis, that's my constellation in the sky. Let's get dirty. Do you guys want to do your top 5 best DGen bets on Sonic? My top 5: Goggles, Moth, THC, Ruggies, and let me see. I need like an actual not meme bet here. The Fat Finger token whenever that launches.
Yeah, something that hasn't even happened yet on Fat Finger.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fat Finger's in my top 5 just because of the potentiality. It's electric whenever I go on that website. Feels like something can
happen. Here was something interesting.
Dude, we got a Somali invader, dude. We got a pirate.
Hey,
hello, lads.
Dude, I like this. Up?
I'm just me and Corval were fighting over the hide button. That happens sometimes. Yeah, man. Good to see you. How have things been?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Can't complain at all, man.
Yeah, you got the shadow neon still going strong there.
Yes, I'm on the iPad, so I figured, give a different angle for the guys. I like your background, Corval. Looks pretty good.
It's Singapore, dude. Are we gonna see you here? Are you gonna be running around these buildings?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so, dude. What else am I gonna be doing? Am I gonna be home?
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to get to Singapore, man.
I'll be there.
Right on, dude. What's been popping Shadow lately, dude? Are you programming the price right now, or?
Oh, dude, if I was programming the price, I wouldn't be doing it this way. But no, pretty good, dude. We just launched TWAP limit orders on our site. We dropped like 250 KS incentives this week. I think we're chugging along. I think definitely we're probably in an easing sort of period of shadow where we're constantly reducing emissions to kind of make sure we're matching, the output, the revenue that's being generated. But it's a good time, dude. I can't complain.
Yeah. I mean, limit orders and TWAP definitely like a big thing. Like, I love to use that. I mean, that's that's a pretty helpful. It's kind of like one of those things where you don't realize how much you need it until you don't have it, right? So I thought that was nice to add on the decks for sure.
Definitely one of our most requested, features to be added for sure.
The TWAP.
Yeah, so I was actually going to pull it up, maybe set up a little TWAP. For anyone that's not familiar, basically, what a TWAP allows you to do is set a period of time, set can set like, what are you trying to sell? How much are you trying to sell or buy? Then you can kind of like choose a time frame and split it up over however many buys or sells you want. So it's useful for volatility, basically, because sometimes, you're trying to buy, like, let's say you're doing a big buy, you got slippage, you got people maybe instantly selling on you or, buying on you or whatever. So it's like it's a handy tool, especially if you're not in a hurry to, just get the best price, get the best slippage rate, and just let it do its thing. And I mean, it's totally what's cool about this. Here, I'll pull this up here.
I'll also add, like 90% of the time, this is probably how most people should be buying. Like,
Yes.
not everyone's great at catching the bottom, but I feel like people are great at catching tops. At least me. I'm constantly top blasting. I'm thinking, damn, why didn't I just break that up over a few days? I would be in a much healthier position. So this definitely helps with that. Or like limit orders, you're trying to catch like a some sort of price action on the low side. You have a feeling things will be choppy, but you don't want to buy at the current market price. Like you set up something a little bit lower. That's pretty awesome as well. You can click the limit button right now just so they can see the UI. It's relatively simple. Like you set the price in the token asset that you want the price in. So if it's wrapped Sonic, it could be USDC.
Yeah.
And then we use orbs, by the way. This is powered by orbs, and it just makes the purchase when the price crosses that threshold, at least for the limit order, which is pretty cool. And
yeah. I mean, this is nice, man. I mean, yeah, like very nice, like especially in DeFi, it's like you're usually having to just like watch the chart, you have to like keep checking and like trying to find that moment. And a lot of times you miss that moment and you wake up and you see the chart and you're like, I should have bought, or I should have sold or whatever. So yeah, limit order is like really nice to have like on a DEX. And yeah, the TWAP here, I mean, yeah, this is like really cool. Let's just say we're doing that in the USDC or something. So like literally you could just say, hey, I want to sell 1,000S in the USDC. I want to have, every 5 minutes, it split it up over however many trades, 20 trades,
So the reason why you're not getting an output is because S isn't supported. The gas token, you have to do wrapped S. So if you quickly switch to wrapped S, that would work.
Yeah,
we're working on because Sonic is such a great place for this. We're working on lowering that limit from 5 minutes. 5 minutes is the minimum you can do right now. But on Sonic, gas is pretty negligible. So it's definitely something we want to kind of lower in the future. Get it to seconds, because the more we can kind of garner this kind of activity, the more we can really push the network in terms of volume and arbitrage, because there's so much stuff going on. You need like these events to kind of keep building volume on the network. So
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, great feature, great addition. I think every DEX should, if they don't have this, they should think about it. Because yeah, I mean, I think like you said, it can contribute to volume and everything else as well. You might have someone that would prefer to move that way than just trying to like catch a bottom or catch a top, or and like yeah, like if you have like a significant amount of tokens or a decent amount of tokens, it's the best way to go about anyway, so that you're not like I said, you're not getting wrecked on slippage and the price stabilizing and all that stuff.
Yeah, rebalancing soon is definitely a little bit more tricky. I think what you're talking about is having a CL position out of range, one click rebuy or rebalance. Something we're looking into is obviously not our greatest priority, because the user experience, I believe, isn't ideal for rebalances. You have to kind of give up some tokens and to slippage and stuff like that. So we're trying to see how we can minimize it. It's definitely something we're looking into more and more as we're building an in-house ALM, just for kind of network effect, increasing volume, increasing depth as well. That's something I'm finding recently, with a CL leading a CL exchange. A lot of the time, price action, it really leaves a lot of people out of range. It leaves the entire exchange out of range. So this will really help with the volatile times, because there's been periods where price has been pretty stable, but that's great for CL exchanges. But when it turns volatile, a lot of people are out of range. That's where you kind of see pretty major price jumps or action. So it's definitely something we're cooking as well. There's just so much stuff. We're essentially looking at it as like, how can we make Sonic better at the end of the day? Because Shadow, I feel like it's so correlated with Sonic at this point, where we're trying to just uplift the entire network with our initiatives.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it, man. So are you thinking more of like a are they more like ALM vaults, or will people kind of like have access to a tool?
No, so there won't be a front end for it.
Yeah.
This is literally just be internal, but essentially like we have these incentives we're pushing out weekly. I know everyone sees it, right? And actually the most optimum way of getting those incentives as vote incentives or, LP incentives would be to have an ALM. So you could actually generate more vote incentives than you would if you just put it straight in. Like if we are running an ALM and we're running it pretty tight to get some good depth, we generate trading fees. We generate a lot of volume as well. And then that also automatically converts to vote incentives already, right? So we're thinking about just how to maximize, the rewards we're putting out weekly and increase volume for the entire chain. So it's definitely not something that it's going to be like a widely used thing. We still think that VFAT, Beefy, and any of the other alternatives are much better for users. But for our purposes of distributing incentives, S incentives on top of the current yield and emissions, it makes the most sense to run an ALM. Depends on the situation, but relatively tight and at the current tick. And that way, you're generating a lot of volume. You have a lot more depth for traders to feel more comfortable. And then from there, that automatically converts to vote incentives anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that was something else that you had mentioned while you were talking about this, was just like, I think that I don't know if everyone is aware that you guys have been dropping straight up liquid S on top of your normal incentives, and you've been doing that for like 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah. I think we've distributed 750,000 Sonic so far. We're getting close to 1 million. I think I might be wrong, but we've distributed quite a bit. Yeah, it's definitely something we want to get more eyes on. In terms of like network effect, like users can definitely jump in and yield in these pools, but our goal is to kind of be a beacon beyond Sonic to kind of get people and users to bridge their assets, especially wrapped ETH and Bitcoin. I think on those ones, if you check our most recent tweet, there's quite a bit of yield on it, like multiple percentages per day, depending on your ranges. So I highly recommend, if you're not, already in Shadow, definitely start moving some stuff over. If you're on another network, AVAX, wherever at, I strongly encourage you to kind of like, take a look at the differences. If there's more yield here, for sure, give it a shot.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always been a proponent of that, in terms of like, I've said it many times on the show that one thing about Sonic DeFi is just that, like, even if like I wasn't on this show and like helping out with like labs and stuff now, like, I mean, just being a DeFi guy and like a yield farmer or whatever, I would have most of my funds here anyway, because it's truly you can't get better APRs than this like anywhere, especially on like major pairs. So it's still just like the best place to be. I mean, and that's like, just there's no way around it. I mean, that's just fact. Say what you want about anything else, there's just no getting around it. I mean, it's the best yield on majors and most other things, and lending and Pendle. I mean, like everything. So
yeah, and beyond yield, it's the most performative. Like, we all enjoy doing our transactions here versus others that I'm sure everyone's tried before. So
yeah, man. You got another question here. It says, is Shadow going to change something with the new Sonic network upgrade?
Yes, of course, dude. Pectra. It's something we've been kind of waiting for a while, actually. It really improves user experience, especially on some of the, entering a position, exiting a position. I think our CL flow is quite nuanced. Like, I think it's really good. You mint a position, you don't have to stake it. But stuff like legacy, proving, these assets, then proving the LP, then improving it to be staked, and then staking it. It's like 6 or 7 transactions.
Yeah.
With Pectra, we can cut that down to 1 or 2. So I'm expecting a huge user experience boost from this. Not to mention a lot of the fun stuff you can do with Pectra. So just be careful about designating your wallet as a smart contract or upgrading it. Just look into all that stuff, see if it's for you. And yeah, just be careful about the new avenues of kind of wallet exploits with this. You might sign something and just be careful. But in general, this will be a huge boon for us user experience wise. Like we're constantly iterating on our website and improving it. So this is probably something we kind of were planning 4 months ago. Like we're super excited for it. And it's just something, you guys won't notice until it's live and you see the improvements.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like big quality of life kind of improvement. But yeah, like you were saying, it's like sites I have used it on, you definitely have to be careful where it's like, yeah, if you're not paying attention, it's like you're so used to having to, hit approve so many times and everything. And, sometimes it's like so fast, it's scary. But yeah, no, I'm glad to hear you say that. I think that I'm excited to see like what people do with the upgrade.
Me too, man. Me too.
It should open up lots of possibilities, right? What is the scariest attack vector you guys can imagine? Like, what is just a pop up that you just quickly sign, delegate access to, and now they just own your entire wallet? Is like the concern.
Yeah, literally, it could be. I think it's 1 transaction if you sign it. Like, they could designate themselves as the owner of your wallet. I don't know fully how it works. I'm more of a front end dude, but it's definitely scary. Like I would just be cautious. That's all I'm saying, guys, is when text changes, just kind of be aware of it. That's all I was just trying to point out. But when you're using a site that you trust, typically you should be fine. It's just, sometimes you get fished. You never know.
Yeah. Well, and like, especially something like Rabby is like really good at catching that kind of stuff. So I haven't used MetaMask in a long time, but I think MetaMask was kind of getting into that as well. Like in terms of like, hey, this is like not what you were, this is not what you were about to sign or what you should be signing, or, this, is a scam link or whatever. So, but yeah, no, I mean, that's awesome. I was going to pull something up just that was, this little guy here.
Yes, Saddle.
Oh, what? This is the meme coin?
Oh, no, it's not mascot, but I'm sure it's someone using it. But like, we're just going to use them. Tutorial, stuff like that. When it's like a holiday, Merry Christmas, this guy's going to be saying Merry Christmas to you. Just typical Web 2 stuff, but I like them. I didn't want to keep using Chill Guy or anything that has any issues with legally. We just wanted to create something for the community. We'll do some fun stuff like some giveaways with him as well. You're just the typical mascot, marketing. A comment asked if FT would affect Shadow. Have you guys talked about Friend Tech yet? Did you want to transition?
Yeah, man. Friend Tech is
sorry, not Friend Tech. Flying Tulip.
The implications of Friend Tech coming to Sonic are going to make huge waves.
Do we want to talk about Tulip right now, or do we want to talk straight up? Do we want to talk about the investments first? I don't know which. I guess let's talk Flying Tulip first. It's the most topical.
Yeah. Well, I'll respond to that one question. Like, guys, anyone who thinks that like this launch will like destroy the eco is absolutely bonkers. This is going to be a great thing for Sonic revenue. If the chain revenue increases 10x, like your favorite D apps aren't going to squander that. They're actually going to increase their numbers, right? Like if you think about it, I don't know the full product, but from what I understand, it's going to be perps focused, right? So just like Hyperliquid does have spot, more people use it for the perps, and that's where most of the revenue will be generated. And the spot is it's based off of I think, stable in UniV2 curves, which is much improved. Like he's already got the observations looking really good. So it's actually more akin to CL, but it doesn't quite beat CL in spot. But overall, it should increase everything on the network. Like a launch like this from a reputable builder like Andre is a boon for everything on the network. Even your favorite, D app that might not be catching flight right now. As soon as Andre drops, it's just massive network effect. A lot of people are bridging, deploying. So
Yeah, and I mean something to compare it to. I mean, if you were here on Phantom during when the solidly rollout was happening, then you would realize that it's like the kind of like volume and liquidity that will hit the chain. It's I hate that. I hate when people like the what is it, the rising tide brings up all the ships, but it's like it's kind of the case. It's like there's going to be so much like volume and liquidity from that. I mean, it's going to spread out to everything, and also kind of like what 24 was touching on. I mean, it's also like a different system than most of the projects that are already on chain. So I don't think if I had a project like Shadow, for instance, I would necessarily view it like, oh, this is the competition. This is, out to, we got to take them down, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, this is going to be a good thing for everybody.
Yeah, despite whatever it's paired with or whatever kind of FUD you're making up in the replies. I hope it doesn't end up like Geist, though. Like when Geist launched and everything went mental as billions flowed into it. I mean, the flowing in was cool, but the aftermath was not.
Yeah. I remember, I'll never forget Geist launch day.
Wait, is this fucking true, dude?
Dude, that's female dev on Twitter.
Yeah. She's the one that exposed you as a pirate.
Yeah.
Still can't get over that.
Yeah, that's not true, but I'll consider that bet if somebody will put something up. If someone wants to put up something against that, I might take that bet.
Oh hell yeah!
You guys probably don't want to see me without a beard though, but yeah, we'll have to see if somebody has like something they'll put up against that, and I would take the bet.
Wait, so female dev? 24?
I don't know who it is, but I am very well aware of their replies and their tweets, and I'm definitely.
They've had some bangers, I gotta say.
Dude, makes me laugh so much.
Mild troll. But yeah, so someone in the community's got to take up this other side of this bet here with Dracula. If he's willing to shave his beard, you got to be at least one to throw 10 G's down or something.
Something, yeah. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
I'm not just gonna go into this myself with nothing on the other side. So,
yeah.
I mean, who wants to take the other side? I don't think I want to. I don't like to lose a bet and have my bags go down. That seems like a horrible combo.
Oh, yeah, it's gotta be a real hater. Now we got to get, we got to address this. Do we think this is true that this approach is better than solid? I think we have to see it to believe it. I don't remember too much of the pre-solidly hype though. I remember there being a lot of it.
Man, okay, yeah, like so it was like basically like I forgot what they called it at the time. It was like the Vamp Wars or whatever. Where
the NFTs, yes, the competition, yes.
Yeah, the protocols were fighting for liquidity. It was like you got a certain allocation based on the liquidity you brought or whatever, and projects were like literally launching pop up overnight on Phantom so that they could slam their liquidity to get a bunch of tokens and everything. It was a wild time, man. Honestly, it was crazy. I mean, it was fun, but that was also when Phantom tapped, I want to say it was either number 3 in top TVL. I mean, on DeFi Llama. I mean, out of everything. So that's how crazy it was, on chain while that was happening. It was a crazy campaign.
I think people would love that right now, though. but yeah, I guess it is wiser because it didn't really end up too well, right? Like it's like very mercenary was the result, right?
That was the
Yeah.
problem, was just the you know, Solidly was like a very like utopian manifesto, and it was completely decentralized. So, people instantly found loopholes and, ways to, abuse it. And yeah, I mean, it was tons of mercenary capital. So there was a lot of fighting on the timeline. There was a lot of people that were, kind of like snake oil salesmen. You know what I mean? There was like a lot of people just popping up like from other chains, like, hey, I love Phantom. What's going on, guys?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Remember the TVL farms? Those were quite hilarious. It was simply a master chef. It was a good time. I honestly think, yeah, like you said, it was very utopian. It was very basically a lot of the stuff that is now gated by permissions was permissionless then. You can make a gate and you can earn emissions and anyone could farm and that was great, but anything where there's money tied to it and it's permissionless, like it was
Yeah.
abused, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
there was trust in the actors and the users, and you never want to trust users, man. I don't even trust myself some nights, man. Forget a user. No, I'm kidding. But no, like yeah, definitely I see what he's saying about the rollout. It's more thoughtful. There's a lot of care taken into, investment and, laws and jurisdictions and what country you're from. So I do agree that rollout was nice. And honestly, Solly rollout was fun though. We all had a great time. We were all trying to push our favorite protocols in the top 25. Or was it TVL based? I think it was TVL.
I think it
based.
was. Yeah.
And a lot of it was just a good time. And yeah, it wouldn't hurt to be like the kind of the talking point, for a certain time again. Like I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a moment where like literally all eyes were on Phantom. Like everybody was talking about it every day. Like I said, it shot up to number 3 in total TVL, like in crypto. So yeah, I mean, just insanity. But yeah, I agree. It's like there's something to also be said about I'm sure some of this rollout is based around some form of PTSD from Solidly. You know what I mean? Taking this more cautious, careful rollout, but yeah, I mean, I guess I wanted to just kind of get into this from yesterday, really. Andre's actual announcement. Dub here says, do you think FT will buy back Sonic or Flying Tulip with profits? Yeah, we're not that far yet. Could be both, I mean,
shit, bro. It's not buying back shit, bro.
Well, let me read it real fast and then we'll kind of get into some of the nitty.
Buy back USDC.
Yeah. So yeah, this is in regards to also the bomb that was dropped was that there will be a Flying Tulip token FT. In posts in the past, there had been kind of like maybe it'll have a token, maybe it won't. So what it says here is, Flying Tulip is raising capital, blah, 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 if you're interested in investing it here. But the idea will be that all of the anything that gets raised for the token will be put into delta neutral liquidity strategies, right? And the idea is that the token will not have any emissions. So like anything that Flying Tulip requires will run off the yield from these delta neutral strategies. So what that means is like, no weekly emissions, no inflation. So because they're going to put all this money into these like funds, the concept is very interesting. But it says that all tokens issued will have a perpetual put to sell tokens back at any time at the same exchange rate and denomination. So what that's saying is that like basically if you buy the token at $1, and let's say Sonic price goes down or whatever, you are always eligible to basically get your money back from like what you put in to buy the token. Which is pretty, it's an interesting idea. So Yeah. So, I mean, the idea is like, I don't want to say like, oh, you can't lose, but I mean, that system compared to, oh, I bought the top and it's going to zero or whatever. It kind of protects you from that. So what it's also saying is, where was it here? Oh, yeah. What I was going to touch on was the things he specifically has listed that yield will be used. So it'll be used to fund bootstrapping, like the initial bootstrapping, marketing expansion, incentivizing launch pads, token liquidity, and buybacks. So that's what I wanted to touch on, Dub, is it's not specified what it's going to buy back, but I'm assuming this is partially probably looking at something like Hyperliquid, where, that's pretty bullish in terms of like, hey, the token does not have any emissions and it's going to, also have buybacks.
Yeah. Elapse is pointing out that the put is only for funding investors, not for retail buyers.
Well, retail buyers they'll get the token. I think that's the.
Yeah. Do we know that? Because there, one of the first comments, of course, is like, why would you only raise institutional wise? And he's quick to say that it will be like a phased launch. So there would be obviously institutional funding, but if everything goes according to plan, there will also be like an on-chain ICO for anybody to get involved. So
like, is this kind of like, this sounds like kind of like a fund almost, like Flying Tulip. Like it's like a DEX mixed with like a fund. Like there's these delta neutral yield strategies underlying. Your really only exposure to the token is like just by buying it for like the price appreciation. Like it's not emitted or anything.
No, exactly. So
like shares of a fund.
Yeah. In a way you could look at it that way. So I think it's just to, avoid common pitfalls of, when tokens, are more like extractive than they are helpful to a project,
Yeah. And those DN strats are from the actual perps engine, like the actual product. So, it's just kind of bootstrapping it. And then eventually, there's, there'll be more users, more, just like, I hate to bring up Hyperliquid because it is probably the best example of this, but yeah, you see how much they've grown. I think they're at 29 billion. What is it, TVL or traded? Just some crazy number, but yeah, that's the goal. And initially, you do need a lot of liquidity to run perps, to run these markets. So that's what I'm like. I don't know the thought process. I don't know the whole product, but that's what I'm understanding from this. That's why he's going for, larger USA based funds for this raise, and then have that initial liquidity to run the perps, and then eventually just a normal ICO for users, just the regular token you're buying in, you're getting FT. And you know what? A part of these perps engines is, buying back their token. I know someone brought up S. That's probably not likely because it wouldn't make any sense for the product as a business. But buying back FT with revenue seems plausible. I don't know the product, but that's what is typically done with projects like this.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something I'm seeing a lot on the timeline already is, what is it going to do for S? What is it going to do for S? I'm like, it's its own project. So I don't, like when somebody launches a project, a DeFi project on BSC or Arbitrum or whatever, they're not buying Ethereum, like the ARB token with it or whatever, or, BNB. So yeah, I don't know what S's role is in that, but I mean, what will benefit S is the eyes and the volume and the liquidity and everything else. So that's the way I look at that. I mean, I don't really see, kind of like what 24 was just saying, like I don't really see like a reason that it would just, only do things for S. But that's what the project's going to bring. Like a mega project will bring a lot of attention, a lot of activity.
Can I just hype this up for a second? You guys don't understand how bullish this is. There's dynamic LTVs on Flying Tulip. A lot of the crazy action you saw in Hyperliquid, where Binance would list an asset where they were, they had liability towards, that wouldn't happen here. Not to mention, Hyperliquid has an entire ecosystem just built around that product. Imagine Flying Tulip, which pushes it further. Like the curves that Andre has pioneered here, it's as close as you can get to CL using these liquidity curves as possible. The observations are really tight and clean. Like I'm extremely excited. It's definitely something we've explored at Shadow. We actually did improve the curves, but we thought of it as like, okay, you can keep nitpicking, the liquidity curves for typical AMMs, not the CLs, and you can get huge improvements for sure. But for a system like this, what Andre's created is literally perfect. And the modularity to even do dynamic LTVs and all this cool tech, it makes it like I don't know. I personally am extremely excited. This is like a behemoth launching on Sonic. I don't know when it will launch on Sonic, but it should be pretty massive revenue, like insanely massive revenue. I mean, we've already seen like how much the entire cryptocurrency Twitter or cryptocurrency users in general, they flock when Andre drops something new and cool. So I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, I think there was like a little bit of look. Speaking of someone who I guess is a little bit more like, I don't know, jaded. I don't know. I could see how people would not be hyped about this, right? Because there's a little bit of like the last time Andre dropped something, it was big, but then he just like disappeared. Didn't really feel like it. Like we didn't really benefit anything. Like he kind of just like left. We haven't really seen a lot of Andre. Does he still have it in him? But I think you're right. Like what he's describing here is pretty crazy, pretty cool. And I want to point out too that he still hasn't fully fleshed everything out for us to know. Like there's still a lot of this system that doesn't really it's not really clear, right? So like a lot of this stuff, like I see people mentioning, what foundation owns 50% of the supply. It seems to me like this is implying there's going to be a Flying Tulip Foundation, particularly if they're raising funds. But like what else the token does is not really like clear. Like why would the foundation hold 50%? Is there some kind of yield attached to it or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine.
Seems like they just want to own the token. Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's all I was going to say was just to reiterate on that. Just that, yeah, I would imagine by foundation, they're talking about Flying Tulip, not the Sonic Labs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it is definitely like Andre is like the closest Sonic has, and one of the few there are in like crypto, I would say, of like a superstar developer or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like the equivalent to like having like I don't know, I can't think of another good example. Again, a game studio like acquire like we got Bethesda, we got someone developing something really big. We know it's going to sell. So at the very least, it'll draw attention and it's going to draw activity. And I think I haven't really been talking too much about Andre or Flying Tulip over the last year. One, because there wasn't a lot to talk about, and I didn't want to do like unnecessary hype. Like I don't want to talk about something that I don't know when it's coming out or anything about it. But I think, and this is my challenge to the Sonic community and all the developers, everyone that's participating, is like, this is going to be enough to get the attention going. And if it's a good enough product, it'll capture a lot of it. But it's like on the everyone else to get theirs too. Like Andre, Flying Tulip isn't a project designed to just pull in money and then just give it out to everyone else.
Yeah. You know what? That was a great comment. In my opinion, people not bullish enough on the network effect. Actually, the comment right before, if you want to show that too, where I think it's two sides. Yeah, I think it's two sides of the same coin. Not only is it bullish for Sonic, it actually exposes users and people to the performant network Sonic is. Like, there's not too many blockchains right now that I can say, okay, if a massive multi-billion-dollar project dropped there with a bunch of users and a lot of activities, would the experience on that network stay, relatively good? No, it's literally just Sonic. So I think it's two sides of the same coin. Not only will it uplifts Sonic. It'll actually expose users to how performant of a network it is. Like I when I bridge anywhere else but Sonic, I feel the difference genuinely. And a lot of users, they haven't had a chance to experience that. So it will really, really show what Sonic's capable of. So I think we haven't had an effect like that on Sonic where, a bunch of people are bridging and they're able to see, what the network's doing. I know we had a hotter week or two earlier, I think in March, maybe February. But that's not the same effect as like, a product like this that can actually, really garner that much attention and users and money. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's like what we're looking at is, it's different. It's not just another, it's not another Dex coming to compete. It's not another lending platform. It is it's a brand new primitive, that is going to bring a lot of volume and eyes to the chain. So yeah, I mean, like Zorg said, people aren't bullish enough on the network effect. What we were just kind of like talking about earlier in the show was solidly, that was like the network effect, right? So there's 0% chance that this does not do great things for Sonic. I'm telling you, 0%, -%, not possible.
Yeah, I think of it as like it's like almost like a stun or whatever, where it's like going to it's like setting off a bomb. Like something big is gonna happen, but what happens afterwards, that's like where the interesting stuff happens. You know what I mean? Like, do we capture that attention and turn it into something useful, or are we going to spaz out on the timeline because we didn't immediately 100x and scare everyone away?
Oh yeah. Zorg summed it up. He said there's 100% chance of a 0% chance. That's right.
And let's see here. I saw on the TL earlier this week too, Drac. You were getting into it with some people.
I wasn't really getting into it, but
do it with you.
I forgot that I had this pulled up to talk about. We've been chatting a lot about sonicfeedback.com and the number that we have, the 904 fan fact to get feedback. And yeah, we got a ton of feedback. So yeah, next week we're gonna have our first show with just doing nothing but like reading some of this stuff, and it should be hopefully insightful but also a good time. But I did enjoy this criticism from no effing clue, basically. He said Gmsonic is a very bad show. I guess that the other Pomp, who is Simone, who worked for Phantom years ago, is behind the scenes. I should be retarded betting on this team. Dracula Presley should be talking to boomers. He is like 80 years old, and he's trying to get attention from millennials and Gen Z, which I just thought I enjoyed it, honestly.
It's the kind of stuff we want on the hotline, we want in the message box. Yeah.
And I was like, I get it. I am old. Okay, let's just put that out there. I'm in crypto years. I'm definitely old. But I don't think I've ever been on here talking about like, TikTok phrases or, what. I'm not like trying to appeal to anybody. But yeah, no, it's for me, it's definitely all about the fame I get from being on this show. I'm constantly, I got young viral content creators throwing themselves at me. They're trying to get into the Drac house. But that's just not, you got to be the top echelon of content creation to be able to come to the Drac stream house. And nobody's really grabbed that ring yet. But, I had mentioned back, hey, I am old. Simone hasn't worked at Phantom in a long time. So he said, yeah, your cloud chart's bad. Mason Corville admitted to dumping ETH at the bottom.
So the thing is, it's cruel, but I'm glad that we're talking about this. I didn't dump ETH at the bottom. Okay, I had LP'd at the bottom. Well, I thought was the bottom, and I got destroyed. So I mean, still the same thing, whatever. But I actually, Dracula, I was actually talking about. I thought you were going to bring up the one where you were saying there's plenty of great projects coming to Sonic. Still, it's not over yet.
No, this one's more fun. Then after some back and forth, he said, "Listen, just don't talk about technical analysis. Don't talk about macro analysis. Don't talk about rates. Don't try to sound smart. Just talk about Sonic and projects, and that's all you should do because you're messing up." So I apologize, but I think the show's pretty good, to be honest. I don't think we're messing up too bad.
Have fun. I mean, we got 24 here, so we're talking to projects.
Yeah. No, legit. I love the show, dude. And you know what? Sometimes maybe no fucking crew has 50 screens and his macro analysis and trade analysis and rates, everything. He's on point, but for the rest of us normies, dude, we do appreciate, a short conversation to kind of keep us update. We're not expecting these guys to be fucking, the quants that, that run the whole fucking world, but I do appreciate some analysis and commentary about it. And if you're just inviting projects, I think that would be kind of boring. That'd be just like, you kind of just be, a whore kind of thing. Just sitting there, man, people coming in, just talking about their projects and then,
And that's what we were trying to avoid was, we've seen, I've seen a lot of that content where it's very, I don't know the best way to, it's very almost like corporate, and it's very like, everything's great and here's the talking points and, you're going to total line and everything's going to be wonderful. And that's one thing that was always, we've said about the show is just like, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Of course, mostly Sonic, but we're going to talk about other things and give opinions on it. And that hasn't always been like, oh, everything's great. We just talk about it as it comes. But I enjoyed that. That was kind of, that was the first hate I'd had in a while, but I just thought it was so funny because he was like, "You're so old, bro."
Oh, dude, don't worry. Dude, you want to see hate? Wait till I put out this D5 video that I got to make next week, dude. They're all over me, bro.
You're going to cook, man. I believe in you, man. And you know what? I think being older is a flex, no, Corval? Like, you lived longer.
Yeah, you got experience.
Yeah, you've survived longer. Yankee, I wish I had that link right now because everybody needs to hear that like immediately.
I want to get
let me see if I find it.
I want to get Mr. Clean to do a remix. Like Lil Wayne used to do those remixes of other people's songs in 2008. Just be like, I'm a better rapper.
Yeah.
Clean do a back song, We're a Better Chain. And we got to subscribe, like, and then turn on the bell.
Oh, wait. All right. Okay, hold up. So here's what I want you guys to think about, right? I just found a Yankee, luckily. You can say that the Gmsonic crew is lame and dumb and shouldn't talk about anything, but I will say this. We don't have anything going on like this on Sonic. So let's just give people a little taste of what other networks are up to. Volume up.
I shielded. Arena said it's rare. No chill, you're pumped it. I didn't care. You are my bag. Now I'm despair. And I would never, ever, ever rug you again. Are you a big wine? Broke while playing. Sell off LP, but they're just faking. You said no text them, dumped in my eyes. My first back rug broke, I can't lie. And I was like, Avex, oh, like Avex, oh, like Avex, oh. I thought you're human.
All right, I'll cut everyone a break. People are saying, please make it stop.
was busting some moves though. You saw?
My favorite part was it was kind of like, you know, you look at it and you're like, okay, so is this real or not? Maybe it's fake. But if you find the video and you go to the comments, he is like, if you even like remotely criticize it, he like cusses you out. So he's not having it. He's like, I believe in this. This is what I'm doing. He makes, you know, Web3 songs. So maybe we get him to make a Sonic song. Actually, I think that's worth some funds.
Wait, I didn't even think about that. Him making us a Sonic song might actually be kind of cool, dude.
Yeah, someone reach out to his representation, and go, if you don't mind going to the beginning of the video. What shoes are those? I don't think those are. I don't have a keen eye. Like right at the beginning, just right at the beginning, he does a crazy shot of it.
Oh, there we go,
dude. What in the?
Yeah, what are
keys are those?
Dude, they're the bootleg Psyches.
Dude,
that's psych. You thought this was Nike? Psych.
These are the AVAX trenches, bro. That's crazy.
Oh, but yeah. Luis says, to be honest, I respect it. Yeah, I kind of respect it too, honestly, because if you go to it, like he is like fighting everybody in the comments. So,
dude, one thing after doing live streams for years now, I respect for the man in the arena. That's all I'll say, dude. Anytime you make anything and put it out there, mad props, because people are going to say the worst possible things they can think of to say to you.
Well, yeah, I totally agree. And I kind of remember when that was like a popular saying, but I think it still holds true, right? It's like, you know, you're not in the arena. So you're either in the arena or you're not, right?
Yeah.
So, but
let's check out the price on AVAX real quick. I think he might have saved the chain, dude. I think this was him. It came out yesterday, right?
Yeah. Green Candle was when he dropped that. So once again, you're witnessing the network effect of Yashton. So
music can save us, guys.
Yeah, shout out to Yashton. But that's pretty much all we got today. We had a bunch of smaller like kind of things to go over, but we're over time, so we'll save those for Mew Mew on Tuesday to read every single one of them to you. She's on a plane right now, so she'll be back Tuesday. We'll all be back Tuesday. And
you know what, man? It's Friend Tech, man. You have to talk about it, dude.
Yeah.
Wait,
sorry, I said Friend Tech again. Blind Tulip.
Can I still get funds off of Friend Tech, you think? Because I think I have an ETH there. I think I have 1 ETH on Friend Tech.
Dude, you can still get in there.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's check this out. Let's end this show. I gotta contact Racer, bro.
So yeah, we will see you guys Tuesday 24. Thanks for hanging out. Always appreciate it. Always a good time. And yeah, we will see everybody Tuesday. Corville, good luck getting your funds out of Friend Tech.
Wait, I thought the wallet was Friend Tech, dude.
Gmsonic is Corville and Dracula Presley. GM.